I actually had a conversation with a guy called Cammy Barnes, and he is a musician, extremely successful. He used to be in the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and then he moved over to his own, Cammy Barnes being him, and he did a song called The Pipes of Home. I'll send it to you after. It's, for a Scottish guy, it's the best. And he was talking
As a
about...
non-Scottish guy, I'll politely go, "Ooh, yes, that was
shite.
That was grand."
So he was talking about music, and he was talking about his agents, and they were saying, you can't put bagpipes in your song because bagpipes can't really be auto-tuned. Like what you hear from bagpipes is what you get, because you can't. It's really difficult to synthesize and kind of change it based on the recording. So he told them to F off politely, and he did bagpipes in his songs, and they all of a sudden went to hit number one songs. And he said the reason that people love them is because they find perfection in the imperfection. If you have a song that is perfect, you're never going to want to listen to it again. But if you have a song that has something in it that you just can't quite, something wasn't right there, you're gonna listen again. You're gonna listen again, listen.
Yeah.
And I think that's true. So we talk about it in the watch industry. I might buy this watch that other people hate, and nothing is fundamentally perfect, but man-made stuff has imperfections, and that makes it perfect to somebody.
I think we are going to pay a premium for the human experience soon. And part of it is because it's slightly imperfect, and that's what gives it away. When they build AIs that also sound a bit imperfect, oh God, maybe we're all doomed when it goes around the circle. But no, you're absolutely right. So first of all, I'm fascinated that bagpipes can't be auto-tuned, because I mean, I'm not the biggest fan. Bagpipes never sound in tune to me. Is it? Do you have experience with bagpipes?
I have friends that do it, and it's a very Scottish thing. But you kind of like blow the air through the arm. And
exactly. So it kind of seems like there's always going to be a bit of
exactly.
When you get the arm position right.
Exactly. And it's not, I think the reason that it can't be, I don't know if auto-tune is the right word, but it can't be like manipulated, is because it's not a specific tone. It's not a specific frequency, and it doesn't last. So there's it can't be perfect. It's fundamentally imperfect.
Yeah. And you have to find beauty in that, I suppose. I mean, the main bagpipe song I remember is "You're the Voice" by John Farnham from 1987, I think. He says, being a massive music geek, where halfway through the song, an entire army of bagpipers join him on stage, and that's
great,
and that's fine. So you're talking about imperfections. So I've made some. I'm well into AI music actually. When I give my, I do a lot of talks these days for companies, and one of the things I do at the end is we talk about the fact that generative AI can make music, and then I'll take suggestions from the audience, and we'll make a song live there, and most of them are absolute bangers. And my daughter, who is now 10, for some reason I got her interested in rock music a couple of years ago.
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm quite proud of that. She heard some Meatloaf and said, "Oh, what's that?" And I said, "Well, that's a very hairy, sweaty man that used to scare me when I was young, but actually it sounds quite beautiful." And then she started drawing, because she loves drawing, she loves writing, she's really creative. She drew a picture of a 5-piece female rock band, part human, part animal, by the way, which is very important. She called them Claws. And she thought this through. Claws were the initials of the members of the band. Ready? Celine, Lydia, Angel, Wester, and Satona.
Wow.
Not even boring names, right?
Yeah.
So brilliant. And I just got into AI music at the same time. So I decided I'd see if I could write a song for them. And it wasn't bad. But since then, the models have come on so much. We've made an album of rock and dance and electronic and ballads, and I've put it on Spotify and other things. And personally, I think they're bangers. But that's because they're pretty formulaic. But I love a formulaic 4-chord rock song. Same 4 chords over and over again. But most hits are 4-chord songs. And the songs are perfect. So the vocals are perfect. The instrumentation is perfect. And it's really interesting what we were saying, that there's no imperfection in there. And I wonder whether for my next album, I might see if I can sort of slightly
make it imperfect.
Yeah, because it's, like I say, they're bangers, but I think the algorithms have already detected that they're AI music.
So
I'm
is
part of that.
Spotify looking for that now?
I know that Deezer made a stand and said, no, we're going to kind of take against AI music. And that they published a figure recently that said something like 50,000 AI songs are uploaded every day to Deezer. And that's the problem with AI, of course, is you can just churn these things out faster than a human. And that's a third of all music being uploaded to Deezer. It wouldn't surprise me if it's the same for Spotify. The numbers will be higher, but yeah, maybe it's a third. And so there are really good reasons why these streaming sites have to, find or try and detect AI. All I know is that it's suggesting other songs to listen to around the songs that I've made, and some of those are obviously AI. And you can tell because there's the photo. If there's a photo of the band member or the artist, it looks too perfect. It looks a bit AI generated, or there is no photo. There's no social media presence. There's no history. They've never performed live, etc., etc. So I can tell. I mean, mine, still think my album stands head and shoulders above most AI music. I'm slightly biased.
What's it called?
The album is called Rich in Red.
Right.
And the artist is Claus. So okay. You can edit this out if you want, but I'm going to tell you this story, right?
Go for it.
So I use one AI to generate the lyrics and the cues for a second AI, which generates the music. And that's something that is a genuine tip for anyone that uses AI. Sometimes you use one AI to generate a better prompt for the actual AI you want to use, because it will know better the sort of things you want to tell it. And so that's what I was doing. And it was generating lyrics, and then I popped that into the second AI and it would generate music. My daughter, after we'd done a couple of these, came up with the idea for the name of the album, which is Rich in Red. And then she dropped a bombshell. She said, and I think I want to write the lyrics to Rich in Red. And now, I'm a loving dad, but I'm also a music freak and a control freak. And I have an issue with this, and I wonder whether you can tell what it is. So my daughter was 9 at the time, and I thought, she's not really going to be able to write good lyrics, is she? Normally that's not a problem, because if the song's a load of rubbish, you just don't include it on the album. But this is the title track from the album. This has to go on the album because it's got the same name as the album. And so I was really worried, and she properly committed. She'd seen how the lyrics had come out of the AI before, and it's got little nuances, like some of the lyrics are in brackets. So she's put oohs, she's committed to oohs and ahs. If you put lyrics in brackets, they become shouts and ad-libs and harmonies, and she's locked these in. And I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be a nightmare. Actually, it turns out that she knows much more about writing proper lyrics than I do. It's a banger of a song with all the oohs and ahs.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you know this. You know Elton John.
Yeah.
Right? And you know that he would write the music for Bernie Taupin's lyrics.
Yes.
If you've seen Rocketman, the film, you'll know this. So Bernie would write lyrics and then post them to Elton to set them to music. And I always found that weird. I thought, well, surely you have to write both at the same time, and they kind of feed off each other and you change this bit. But it seemed that Elton was literally setting pre-written words to music. And I thought, how can that happen? Now I understand with AI that you can write any old stuff and it will make a banger of a song out of it. And that's what it did for this particular song. My daughter went on to write three songs for the album completely, the lyrics, and they're pretty good. And then the AI sets them to music. There's probably people screaming at their headphones at the moment saying, "Oh God, this is travesty."
But isn't that brilliant? I mean, there's two sides to that. One is the fact that what age is your daughter? You said 9 years old?
She's 10 now.
10. I mean, the fact that at 10 years old, your daughter is creating albums, lyrics, writing, and has the option and the tools to do that is, in my eyes, incredible.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's opened up that side to the world to someone so young.
I mean, so that's what I think. And what it's done is it's brought us close together. We've got something that we share. And people say, oh, AI can't do art. You need the human experience for that. I think actually art should be for the artist first. I'm being a bit pretentious here because I don't class myself as an artist, but if you get pleasure out of creating the work, that is art. It doesn't. If you're making it for other people and to try and make money, that's question. You know, AI might have taken out the middle ground in a lot of art these days because it's as good as middle ground artists. But if you're doing it primarily for your own enjoyment, that is what I consider art. But you know, there are plenty of people who are very reasonably upset by the fact that AI can write good music because that's been their livelihood up until now. And I would say to them a couple of things. First of all, there's been a lot of technology developments that have, like you say, opened up music to, or general, you know, creative arts in general to many people, like auto-tune, right? So when auto-tune, you know, pretty much every song that we hear on the radio now is auto-tuned. There was a time when you had to be a really good singer who could hold a note in order to be a music artist. Then auto-tune came along and suddenly it almost de-skilled that part of the business. And then along came sequencing software. So people can now write music in their bedrooms, on their laptops, and you don't need even to be able to play an instrument. So there's lots of arguments for all these technologies. Well, that's ruined it because suddenly the real musicians aren't the only people that can make this music because now people can noodle around in their bedrooms and do it. So there is that, but I do wonder whether this is different. There's a lot of things about this time it's different when it comes to AI because, you know, you now don't need any skill pretty much to make good music, as evidenced by me.
If you guys enjoyed that clip, please do me a huge favor before you go and head over to our Into the Mind podcast official page where we have the raw, uncut Into the Mind podcast and hit that subscribe button. And the more subscribers we get, the more incredible guests we can get on the show. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much. And I'll see you all real soon.